but you have been so ingrained in thinking that your opinion is the last opinion that you should take into consideration, and everyone else's opinion is more important than yours. Hi, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's Duchess, and I teach you how to love yourself while also learning how to love myself. The topic that we're going to discuss today is girlhood, the rituals that shaped us, or the practices that shaped us, the things that we grew so accustomed to in our childhood, in our adolescence, that we brought into our adulthood, into our womanhood without even realizing. Topic number one is the morning rituals of your girlhood. And that is the things that you didn't even realize that you were used to doing. You don't even realize that the way that you woke up, the way that you brushed your hair, the way that you brushed your teeth, the friends that you gravitated towards, the interests that you paid much more attention to helped in shaping the person that you are today. This also includes the compliments that you were given or the things that you were scolded for. Whether or not you're starting your healing journey, there were certain people and certain teachings responsible for shaping us into respectable members of society that are able to contribute, that are able to work, that are able to function in certain spaces and situations. Of course, there are things that we are now relearning and reteaching ourselves, but in the beginning, you only knew what you were taught. You only knew to brush your hair a certain way. You only knew to brush your teeth a certain way. You only knew to shower a certain way. You only knew that certain things in relationships were okay. And you took that with you into your friendships, into your intimate partner relationships, into your jobs. Let's start with the mornings. Maybe you were told that you had to wake up early, make your bed, and comb your hair into a really neat style for school. Or there probably wasn't much attention paid to you. Maybe you woke up and the house was already chaotic. You had to try to find your school supplies, your book bag, you had to try to find lunch to carry to school, or maybe even eat lunch when you got to school. Whether we realize it or not, these morning rituals taught us preparedness, responsibility, and how people reacted to us when we were put together versus when we were rushed, and whether the world feels safe or stressed. Studies on childhood routines show that consistent morning habits strengthens the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain responsible for planning and emotional regulation. Children who grew up with predictable routines often grew up to be developmentally, emotionally regulated adults. The second point is the ritual of being told to be good. Now, what is the simple definition of a ritual? A ritual is a ceremony or action performed in a customary way. You are accustomed to hearing your parents say that if you do this, you're good. If you do this, that you're bad. You are accustomed hearing your aunties talk about your body in a specific way. Be a good girl, sit properly, don't talk back, be polite, be helpful, be nice. These were all things that a lot of us grew up hearing and had to work that into the way that we interacted with life as adults. And while some of these intentions may have been good, they also may have trained us to be people pleasers, to suppress our emotions, to avoid confrontation, to always be the one to seek validation from others in whatever it is that we do. Have you ever been in a situation where you find yourself asking your friends, your boyfriend, your parents for their opinions on things that you are supposed to be the main person liking those things in order to bring them into fruition? Think about it. You don't need to ask your friend group if they like this particular hairstyle for you. You don't need to ask your boyfriend if he likes this particular outfit or if he thinks you should wear it. You don't need to ask your parents if you should go into this field or if you should study this particular thing. But you have been so ingrained in thinking that your opinion is the last opinion that you should take into consideration, and everyone else's opinion is more important than yours. This is because from a very young age, you were told that in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, in order to be seen as good, you had to do things a certain way. And because now you're not sure if you're doing the correct thing, you often find yourself asking for things that you don't necessarily need a second opinion for. Of course, there will be things that it will be nice to have an input on it, But every single thing, hey, do you think I should have this for breakfast? Hey, do you think I should drink this amount of water? Hey, do you think I should do my nails in this way? Hey, do you think I should try braids? Do you think I should straighten my hair? Do you think I should try a different makeup look? Why are you asking for person's opinions when it comes to things that are solely supposed to be focused on your creative output? In order to move from this mindset, you need to look at yourself as your own creative art project. The things that you want to do with your life, the things that you want to do with your physique, the things that you want to do with your body are no one else's business or responsibility but your own. Therefore, the opinions of others should come after the opinion that you hold of yourself. Research in developmental psychology shows that girls more than boys are rewarded for compliance and punished for assertiveness. This creates a lifelong pattern called relational self-silencing, or something that we all do. The urge to shrink your needs in order to make other people comfortable. This is a ritual you never asked for, but you learned by force. Next, we're going to talk about beauty rituals and early femininity. Think about the first time you got your hair done, or the first time you got your nails done, the first time you went shopping, the first time you wore lip gloss to feel pretty, did a skincare routine, or saw an older woman, whether it was your mom, your cousin, your aunt, dolling themselves up in a mirror. These rituals weren't just about aesthetics, they were teaching you something. They taught you from an early age that beauty equates to acceptance. We hear this talk so often on places like TikTok and Instagram, where it seems like every other day there is a debate between pretty privilege and pretty punishment and ugly privilege. But how ugly privilege is not the same as pretty privilege, because you're more likely to be punished for being pretty as opposed to being punished for being ugly. Though sometimes you could be punished for being ugly. They also taught you how femininity is performed, that there is a constant pressure to be visually appealing. Between the ages of 8 to 14, your brain is hypersensitive. So when a girl receives compliments for her appearance, her scent, or whatever it may be, the dopamine pathways in your brain reinforce the belief that being pretty equals being valued. Oftentimes, we find ourselves performing beauty, performing femininity, performing being attractive, having sex appeal. And therefore, in situations like this, you find that when there's no one to perform for, when you're home alone, when you're in those quiet places by yourself, you find that you don't put in as much effort. You don't do up your hair as much. You don't bother to put on makeup. You don't bother to put on a cute outfit. You are performing because you were told that this is what you must do when other people are around. And this is also reinforcing the belief that other people's opinions of you matter more than your opinion of yourself. So therefore, you don't need to doll up yourself even if you're staying at home. You don't need to do your hair if you're staying at home. You don't need to put on makeup if it's just you in the house. You don't need to go to sleep in lingerie. You don't need to wear fabrics that feel good on your skin. You don't need to have an entire skincare routine, because why should you if it's just going to be you? I remember I grew up in a house where this was often the sentiment that I was told. So that was an excuse used to throw on clothes, to not do moisturizing routines. And it's no fault of the person if this is what they were taught. But I made it a personal mission to myself to learn how to love myself in spite of anybody else being around. Therefore, even if I don't have anywhere to go, even if I'm not seeing anyone or no one is coming over to my house, I will wake up, I will do my skincare routine, I will wear my favorite perfume, I'll put my hair into a hairstyle, I'll wear an outfit that makes me feel pretty and makes me feel nice. And I'll walk around the house, I'll play music, I'll dance, I'll eat things for my body so that I could feel healthy and I could look healthy and that my skin can glow. Because in my life, it doesn't matter who is around to see. It matters how I feel about myself in my day to day, going on to my day to day rituals. And if anyone enters my life while I'm in this era of learning how to love myself and learning how to do things for myself, and they get to experience that and they get to see that, then that's just good for them. I remember I was looking into a lot of femininity content and I saw that, I believe her name is Dita Von Teese, and she spoke about the fact that she walks around the house in lingerie, you know? She goes to sleep in lingerie, she does her hair, she does her makeup, she has her signature red lipstick. And I remember someone interviewing her and they were asking something along the lines of, do you do this because there's a man around, or what's going to happen if a man is around? Like, do you change any of these? Do you do more? And she said no. She basically said that I do these things for me. I do these things because I'm a woman and I love to feel pretty and I love to doll myself up. And if a man is around and he gets to experience this, then that's good for him. But that does not change whether or not I treat myself differently. And that stuck with me. And really, I try to take it with me with so many situations, like learning a new language or reading a new book or trying on a new outfit. You don't need to have somebody around for you to perform, for you to feel the need to be elaborate and doll up yourself and do all of these things. But getting to the habit of doing these things for yourself. You are a person too. You deserve to see pretty things. You deserve to look pretty. You deserve to smell good for yourself as well. If this video resonated with you, do like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Love you. Bye.